Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to thank you very much for coming by. My name
Dire
is
team
Kotlguy, and I'm going to go ahead and give out a late night casting session. We're going to take over this
Dire
sexy
team
little
ban.
NEL game. The draft is underway. It's going at
Radiant
hyperspeed, if
team
you can tell
ban.
already. Seems like the Dire team is going to just throw out some quick bans. Omni Knight first, followed by Viper and Obsidian Destroyer. And on the Radiant side, we have Visage and Venomancer. I'm going to go ahead and apologize ahead of time for the very soft and subtle suave speaking
Radiant
tone
team
this
ban.
evening.
Radiant team
The lady's
pick.
asleep, and we're going to have a little late night quiet casting session. So bear with me here. The picks go underway. The Lich does get through the first set of ban phases, so he is quickly picked up by the Dire team. So they're going to look to get some quick early gold and late advantage with him, being either middle or possible top side lane. Death Prophet also picked up a very strong mid presence and excellent pushing power. Pugna,
10
speaking of
seconds
pushing
remaining.
power, is picked up by the Radiant team, followed by Elder Titan, who also managed to slip through
5
the cracks of the
seconds
early
remaining.
phasing. So I'm very eager to see an Elder Titan and Lich, two
Reserve
very
time.
frequently banned heroes. They're going to go ahead and make an appearance in this game. And if you didn't see our player roster, I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. We got
Luna.
Cecil, Anna, Asian Fail 989, and
Dire
Mick
team
Stabby.
pick.
On the Dire side, and on the Radiant team, you'll see Zon,
Radiant team
Crystal,
pick.
Gome Dopey, Mel Gibson himself, and Dash I, which I believe could be Jaw. The icon looks similar. I'm not too sure, but we're just going to go ahead and try our best to go through that.
Dire team pick.
Crystal Maiden.
Moving on, the picking does proceed. We have
Radiant
Tidehunter,
team
who is
ban.
very few and far between seen, but I'm very eager. I put Tidehunter in the same category as Magnus, where he is a game changer and a playmaker. Landing a serious ultimate can really change things up, along with a Crystal Maiden, who also shares a strong ultimate. So
Dire
you can
team
already see
ban.
the trend by this Dire team. Lich, Death Prophet, Tidehunter, Crystal Maiden. Some seriously strong ults, some great
Radiant
AoE
team
as well.
pick.
They're going to need to round off their draft, though, with a nice heavy DPS carry to really get some late game shining, unless they're going to go for an early game finish. On the Radiant side, they do manage to pick up the Bane, a trickster of all trades with great sleeping and as well as, well, crippling heavy DPS, which the Dire team hasn't picked up yet. Just overall a solid, good support pickup. On the Luna,
10 seconds
Luna
remaining.
was also picked up. New
Dire
top-tier
team pick.
late game carry. Her glaives have provided excellent damage, now with additional bounces, so you'll look to see her try to push to the late game. And I want to thank this guy for shouting out. I'm going to go ahead and change the threshold a bit on my microphone so it doesn't cut out too much. Bring it down here. There we go. I think that should help. Let's see. Bring it
10
down here.
seconds
Maybe that'll
remaining.
help a bit. Does that help? I hope it does. All right, moving
5
on.
seconds remaining.
That's probably due to the fact that I have to be on the quiet side.
Reserve time.
Anyways, Radiant team finish off their draft by picking up the Sand King, another versatile, stunning support. Roaming possibilities, excellent AoE epicenter for heavy damage to take out the likes of a Lich and Crystal Maiden who might be caught out past their comfort zone. And you're going to look for some sort of heavy DPS, and they decide to go with Ricky. So, interesting set of picks. I'm very excited to see some of these unfamiliar faces. A lot of AoE potential there. The Massa, Cloud, Silence, Crystal Maiden, Tidehunter, Death Prophet's Exorcism pushing power, along with Lich and Pugna with his Blast and pushing power, Elder Titan his versatility, Luna with her heavy DPS, Bane with his strong support and tools to disable and really build up an opportunity to make a good jump, along with the Sand King with the excellent stun epicenter. If I had to make any predictions based on the picks, I would say the Radiant team seems to have a slight edge in this draft. I feel like they have a little more versatility. They could have a stronger laning presence as well as the ability to snowball ahead in this game very quickly. But
10
you cannot
seconds
count
remaining.
out this Dire team with those ults in that setup. If
5
they get
seconds
one
remaining.
decent team fight going, they can really turn things around very quickly. So I am very eager to see how this is going to go. That's right, I need to control the camera as well. So, with that said, the game is started and has gone underway. I'm going to go ahead and begin with the introduction.
Prepare for battle.
Representing the blue, Czar is going to take his business to the bottom lane. He's going to be playing Pugna. Probably going to be part of either a tri-lane or maybe a 2-1-2 setup. Meanwhile, Mel Gibson, sitting still. What women want, they say. He's going to be playing the delicious woman Luna. Sand King is going to be played by who I think is Ja, but now we'll just call Dash Line. But we'll just proceed to go Sand King. He's going to accompany Pugna in that bottom lane. And Gom Dopey is got the Elder Titan, so he might take his business to the top off lane. Doesn't look like they're going to assert themselves too much this early game. Not going to look to push themselves into the dire jungle and go for any sort of first blood. They might be playing it safe. Meanwhile, on this dire team, starting off the bat, Sleesel has picked up the Ricky. He's going to go ahead and play in that safe lane top and try to just get as much farm as possible real quick. He's playing pretty much the true support for his team. A lot of eggs in his basket, so he's going to try to get as much farm as possible quickly. Maybe go for a Diffusal Blade, which would be very good against the likes of a Pugna and Sand King and such. Second up is Lich. Lich is played by Anna, or ANA. Not sure how it goes, but he has the potential to go anywhere. Doesn't look like he might be going middle, might be taking his business to the bottom lane, or potentially additional babysitting for Ricky in the top. Frost Armor is always very huge and excellent to have. 989 is playing Death Prophet, the new popular mid lane. She's got an excellent set of attire sporting. Let's go ahead and get a little sexual cam motion here. Very nice get up
30
on
seconds
989.
to battle.
And proceeding to the bottom lane, we have Asian Veil sporting a very pirated infested Tidehunter. Very excited to see Tidehunter in this game. He's picked up a couple awards. He's going to lean towards the support side at the start. And not sure if he's going to commit to the bottom lane and they're going to go with a 2-1-2, or maybe he'll take his business top after planting some wards. Looks like he has decided to shift them off. And Sar's going to look out for the rune.
battle
So the game has
begins.
begun, so best of luck to both teams.
Illusion.
And let the games begin. So, Dire Team looking to stick around with a 2-1-2. Tidehunter does plant the ward. Is going to take his business with Lich in the bottom lane. Ricky and Crystal Maiden are going to go top. Crystal Maiden is going to try her best to really maybe pull some of the camps. They don't appear to be going for a block of any sort, so she will go for the double pull and help Ricky get as much farm as possible, but he will be dealing with the likes of an Elder Titan who is accompanied by Bane, so Bane is going to be quite the harassment on Ricky, so he'll look to hopefully have Crystal Maiden back him up. Let's go ahead and throw up those last hit denies. Mid lane, we're going to have a Luna, who isn't very frequently played in middle, but it does happen few and far between, so a little unorthodox, but, you know, can be viable. But she will seem to have a hard time with the nukes and AoE power and presence. 989 on deck. Bottom lane, I would have to give a slight nod to Czar. The Pugna just has a little more AoE presence with that Nether Blast. And meanwhile, he is getting assistance from the Sand King, who is doing a pull through and pulling the lane back towards the tower, so that's going to be extremely helpful. Not really clear leads right now. Everyone seems to have a very even setup. Ricky's got 5 creeps, and meanwhile Luna is 4 and 3. So, very even matchup right now. Both teams forced to use some of the consumable right off the bat, and unfortunately, I did miss the first blood.
First blood on the sand strikes the perfect note.
Lich really overstepped his boundaries a little bit and was cut off with a stun and nuke. Lich is very fragile at the start of this game, so he can't afford to get cut off by too much, and unfortunately Tidehunter doesn't have the disable to really save his friend E. Neither of them do. So aside from a slight gush slow, they really can't afford to be caught off guard. Especially when the creep wave is going to be pulled so far down, you can't risk going too deep, rather. So, from the looks of it, it appears Mel Gibson playing Luna has got the slight lead on the mid CS. Oh my goodness, what is happening in this bottom lane? Now Sand King also getting the pick off on Tidehunter. Seems like I should keep my camera around the bottom. They have a lot of action, a lot of back and forth trade I really think that maybe this Tidehunter and Lynch are trying to get something going and getting a little over greedy. Zar is not getting any time, pulling out some auto attacks, so a frustrated Tidehunter is going to turn around and go for the gush. Sleep was done on Ricky to prevent extra harassment. Will salve and heal up, and I have missed every single kill so far. I have missed every kill. I really hope that not a lot of people are tuning into my camera because I am doing a quite an atrocious job so far. It's pretty late. I apologize. Ricky doing a wise job. He's picked up his magic wand early. He knows that Bane is going to be spamming those spells, so he's going to have the security blanket of a magic wand, and here we go. I'm finally going to see some action here, personally. Elder Titan's going to be coming in from the backside. Death Prod doesn't know what's coming. There goes the nuke, the Astral Spirit. One more hit, and she does fall. That's going to give an even greater advantage to Luna, and a frustrated Crystal Maiden late to the party throws out a nuke that will hit no one, unfortunately. So 4-0 is the score and advantage for the Radiant team. They're doing a great job. They have an excellent lanes presence, as I said before, and they're really taking full control of that. Dire team, their draft just doesn't work too well early game. They're looking for some game team battle setups that aren't quite there yet. They need a lot of their players to reach level 6. A lot of their team really doesn't become their prime until they reach level 6 and get all these massive ultimates off. But for the meantime, they're going to do their best. Hanging in there, try not to feed too much. Sand King playing very patient, waiting on the side. Will run into them. Lays out the Sandstorm for shots. And we're going to have a turnaround. A lot of Dire team hanging around this bottom lane. There we go. The nuke is off on Sand King. He's going to go for the off. One more hit and will fall. So finally, Crystal Maiden taking the time to swing around bottom to add some assistance here. And now the Lich and Tidehunter can get a little extra breathing room and a little time to farm. Sorry for the meantime, though, very low on mana.
Is under
just gonna
attack.
go ahead and hang around. Luna, in the meantime, is doing a great job building up her CS. She's got 23 and 9, and Pugna on her team is just following up the second amount of CS at 17 and 3. So strong advantage for the Radiant, but the Dire did manage to get on the board with that kill on Sand King. Meanwhile, McStappy is kind of moving around. He knows that he can use his Frostbite on any of these jungle creeps to really get a little bit of farm going. That's a great advantage of CM right now. She's going to go for the double stack, though. Could be for herself. Could be for her good friend. Maybe Ricky, I guess, could go ahead and take the farm unless she's planning on taking it herself. But she's being a great job of supporting the jungle and getting those double stacks going. Death Prophet, 18-0 going against Luna at 25 and 11. So slight advantage for her there. There goes the grab right, and the blast. It does very big damage on ANA. He's going to have to look out for that. One more of those and he will fall. Pugna, in the meantime, did pick up his mana blitz, so now he has the free will to spam mana and spam those spells. So very nice early farm pickup by Zar. Pugna is it's one of those dark horses of the game that if you don't keep a good eye on him, he'll pop out with a Necrobook 3 and take down really quickly. Oh, unfortunately, missed the chance. The Crystal Maiden managed to pick off the Elder Titan, who was solo in the top. Ricky Doe, level 6. Now you gotta get wary of that. If you don't get a sentry ward, you might go ahead and think twice about hanging out in the lane. This is gonna be interesting. We'll see if Sleesel decides to step top. Oh, he does. Bane got too overconfident, pushing for our head, but here comes Elder Titan, the TP from the depth. One more hit, and he does fall. Now Elder Titan 1 versus 3, not gonna be able to get anything going. He does manage to slip out of there. So
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Not Bane, but SA is very happy to get that kill. Experience, rather. So things are working out pretty well for Ricky. He does ask for the salve and does receive it. So it looks like he's going to hang out in the top lane and try to build up a little more farm. Going to look for the Elder Titan, who will push ahead. He does not know. Ricky's still in there. Crystal life now takes a couple hits and will fall. If you do not have a sentry in the lane, I would
Radiant's middle tower
hanging
is
out
under
around
attack.
this Ricky. Sand King, though, pulling a Ricky himself, is hanging out invisible, waiting for the Death Prophet, but she has a little more map awareness, is kind of hanging back, can sense something is around. She's going to play it very safe right now, very smart. Meanwhile, the Luna trying to bait her back, make her feel comfortable, is sitting very far back, not really trying to push forward at all. I think Death Prophet is caught onto that and finds it kind of fishy, and they are going to go for a counter initiate. Ricky coming in. Luna is unaware. She is going to hang by. Death Prophet moving forward, but it's too late now. There we go. Crystal Maiden, the leap is done. There goes the Frostbite. Does get saved by the stun by Sand
Dire's
King.
bottom
Very
tower
well
is under
done
attack.
indeed. Sleesel forced to stay back And thanks to Sand King, the bodyguard is able to save his good friend Mel Gibson. Great job, and he will hand off the salve to keep him in the lane. So good job. Now, Cecil on the move, going to be changing from lane to lane.
Dire's
They
bottom
don't have
tower
the vision.
is under
He will
attack.
sneak around and get the kills. You can't afford to let a Ricky like this snowball.
Dire's structures are fortified.
ANA looks like he might be going for a Midas build. Going to see if they can push this game a little longer or get some more free XP and gold to get to level 6 quicker. They will manage to deny this tier 1, and
Dire's
I believe that will be
top
the
tower
first
is
tower
under
to
attack.
fall this game.
Dire's bottom tower has
Cecil
been
making the hunt on
denied.
Sand King. He does have the burrow strike, will land it and able to get away. And he does go for the blast. And
Dire's
excellent
top
timing
tower
by the
is
Sand
under
King
attack.
to do the sandstorm. Oh, one more hit. He's gonna try to juke it through the trees, back and forth. The Venom. Oh, an excellent stun, but they don't have the vision for her to get
Dire's
the nuke
top
off. If he
tower
shows
is
himself,
under
he will
attack.
die. Mel Gibson has the nuke in her pocket, ready to pull the trigger, but unfortunately they do pull back. Sand King is hiding out. The trouble is there. ANA knows something's there. Crystal Maiden goes into the line and finds her. But here we go. Ricky pushing hard. Mel Gibson's forced to step back. This dire team is just swarming all over this tower, and there goes the exorcism. They're going to go for the tier 1 in mid lane. 6 to 5. is
Radiant's
your
middle
score.
tower is
If you
under
look at the
attack.
gold graph, it's slightly towards
Dire's
the Radiant
top
team, about
tower
3,000
is under
EXP,
attack.
just only a little over 2,000. And meanwhile, Bane in the lane, along with Elder Titan,
Radiant's
looking to do a little
middle
damage on the
tower
tier
is
1. The
under
Dire
attack.
team's starting to rotate and take their business to the top, but with that, it doesn't seem like
Radiant
the Radiant team is
structures
too
are
aware, so they're kind
fortified.
of sitting pretty in this lane. And will begin to rotate to the middle to defend the tier 1 and possibly deny it. Meanwhile, 989 trying to sit on a little bit of gold. Looks like she might go for a magic wand. Ricky manages to pick up his power treads, which is nice. A little extra attack speed, a little extra strength. Will not opt for any sort of Midas build. And if we go ahead and look at the items, you can see that Czar on the Pugna is possibly going straight for that Necro book. He does have a Staff of Wizardry. Decide to go for an Active Scepter. That all depends. Mel Gibson, though, meanwhile, in big trouble being hit by this Ricky. He's going to push forward, lays out the Eclipse late, but does back up in the nick of time, and they do play 55. Oh my goodness, unfortunately. Death Prophet just a little too close for comfort, taking a little too much tower damage, does get finished off by the Luna, so it does turn in her favor, just a little too gritty. Didn't have the creeps there to take up a lot of that damage, is going to be going the long way, hiding away from a Ricky who is trying to wait and scout her out and will not find her, so he's going to go ahead and go on the hunt. Luna, very low life, pushing around to the back, does have her Midas, so that's very nice. Will be forced to go to the side, possibly will TP out. She will TP out. Very nervous about this Ricky, who was hunting her, so very good awareness there.
Dire's top
Meanwhile,
tower is under attack.
hiding up behind the tower, looking to see if he can get his team together to get something going. He is not 6 yet, but he is so close. About after this creep, he does get 6 now, so now they're ready to set something up. His team in the area.
Dire's top
The
tower
level 6
is
ult
under
is
attack.
available by Death Prophet. Crystal Maiden not quite 6
Dire's
yet, but
top
almost
tower
there.
has fallen.
Meanwhile, Lich does reach his level 7, so he's ready to go, and the ultimates are coming. So this is the one true chance for this Dire team to really get back in it. Ultimates available now. They will try to get some serious team fights and coordination together, but Czar has something else to say. He's going quickly for a Necrobook. He might try to push the game ahead himself. He's very, very pushy. You catch my drift here. The team, there goes the blast in the way. His team is out there. Tidehunter is ultimate before he's taken out. There goes the
Dire's middle
It
tower
does bounce
is under
twice.
attack.
That stop. Bane does fall. They do turn back. They are
There are
awfully
none
low, but
so
no one else is there to really stop them. Orange is in the area, but he's a little late to the party and was not able to
Dire's
be around
middle
to
tower
cast
is under attack.
anything, and he's not even 6 yet. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the epicenter to get around and counter initiate, so he is forced to wait. So good job by the Dire team. They get a slight head in that team fight. Thank you to the ultimate. Here we go. Tidehunter is back. He's teaming in. Lays out the gush on Elder Titan.
Dire's middle tower has
He
fallen.
does enhance a little more for the Radiant team, it appears. They're about 6,000. Stappy does fall to a super long range nuke of Mel Gibson. Quickly TP's out, takes the kill, and runs. Go on, take the money, and run, if you will. Radiant team now gathering up in the middle. Lay out the ward. Czar getting a little anxious, pushes it again. Hopefully doesn't get overzealous this time and will not fall. Is a little more secure, but he will try to land a couple of the blasts on the tower with that extra mana boost. He is able to spam more of these nether blasts, get them on the tower frequently. He's going to throw another one. He is trying to get this game pushed as quickly as possible. It's a very smart move on Pugna. That's what he's good for. Meanwhile, finally, Ricochet is probably going to lay off a couple attacks. Chooses not to lay off much else. Didn't even level up Cloud yet. I'm not a big fan of that. I am a big fan of Smoke Screens. A team that has so much burst and so much ability to lay out spells decides not to do so. Tighthunter does fall. There's the Exorcism, Saber, and the Drain plus the Sand King Sandstorm manages to finish. That's 2 for null. The score is 12-7 in favor for the Radiant team. Meanwhile, Rain is laying the ult on Ricky and does finish him off thanks to Sandstorm. Sorry about my camera movement there. And they are going to try to cut off this Crystal Maiden. They don't see her.
Dire's middle tower is under
down, but they're
attack.
going to try to cut her off. She's going to make a run. She's going to go for the top 4. She does have a TP. Dire straight dodges the burrow straight, lays out the range, but the brain sound is just too much, and she's
Dire's
just too weak.
middle tower has
shows up to
fallen.
the party. Will avenge her. One more hit.
Radiant's
She does
bottom
fall,
tower
and Sand
is
King
under
does get out
attack.
there, so a bit of a
Dire's
back and
middle
forward
tower
battle.
is under
They do
attack.
get redemption, but Radiant still striding ahead 14-8. Here goes the Eclipse. It's a little too far out of range, and she's a little too slow, unfortunately. Does have power trends, but unfortunately due to the recent patch, power trends are just a little slower than they used to be. She needed just a little more move speed, and unfortunately wasn't there. Ricky gonna catch her out, and now gonna do a few backstabs and make the run for it. She doesn't have Eclipse now, and we'll go for the TP. Will be enough. Yes, it will. They take her out before she has a chance to escape. Farming those creeps was kind of a bad idea. The game is still pretty early for this Dire squad, and they can get back in the fight very quickly. Do not underestimate the power of how quickly the entire team can get back into the mix. You cannot afford to stay around, especially by yourself, and get caught off. The score, though, is 14-9. If we look at the net worth, you could see that the top 3 of 5 does belong to the Radiant team. Definitely pulling this game ahead. Luna does have her Midas, so she's getting quick farm. It looks like she's going to decide to go for the Blade of Alacrity into possibly a Manta
Radiant's
style
middle tower has been denied.
Magnum Scepter or Diffusal Blade. I'm going to lean towards the Yasha to start with, and then maybe possibly build on that or not. Meanwhile, Pugna, Zar in the second Void is probably very close. He does have his 1 level of Necronomicon. That's only going to enhance his pushing power even further. Elder Titan's in 30, did manage to pick up his drums and has his urn, so he's still very versatile and very supportive to the rest of his team, but Sleesel is there. He is the leader for his Dire team, trying to get as much farm as possible, but not enough damage items yet. He does get his Vlads, but will need to start building on DPS, additional Diligence. He is being scouted out by this team, who does lay out the Burrow Strike. The Epicenter is laid. The damage is going to be done. They do have the Dust. One more move. He does fall. Sand King does finish off the team. This is going to be a he does get stunned. Here we go. Isabel trying to make the turn. Does turn and take out Sand King very nicely. Lich Ult goes all over the place anywhere but the heroes, unfortunately. Very bad luck with that ultimate. And it is a 1-for-1 trade. But Radiant getting the upper hand do take out the Ricky. And only the Sand King falls for the Radiant team. Wow, wow, wow. The game sounds are rather loud. They overpower your voice. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm going to work on that right now. We're going to go ahead, we're going to go to the audio, and we're going to turn it down to about halfway. Thank you very much for your feedback, and if you want to leave me live chat feedback, you can always check me out at twitch.tv/Kotlguy. I know I typically stream in my full Kotlguy gear and attire with webcam, but this evening we're going to go without the webcam. You're going to have to deal with just my luscious voice. So hopefully we've resolved that issue, and we're going to keep going. If you can, we can pay a quick visit to the gold graph. You can see we're about 7,500 ahead in advantage for the Radiant squad, and the EXP is about 4,000. So they are pulling ahead. It's not out of this league yet. Bane getting caught off. Feeds like this will not help. He does lay out the Ghost Scepter, which he managed to pick up, but it will not be long enough. His team is just too far, and he will feed. Unfortunately, Lich decides to go for the last hit. He should have really let Ricky get that if they want to try to get back in this game, but a kill is a kill, I guess. Right? So Dire team, they're going to look to stick together, but as I say that, Crystal Maiden trying to defend the bottom lane by herself will not be able to do so against the likes of Zar and the Sand King, who will stun in and catch her off guard. So, Crystal Maiden, you may be a great support hero, but you are not going to be able to defend that lane by yourself. You're going to have to, if you are caught off, you will die. You are made of ice. If we go ahead and take a moment to look at the items, as I said before, Pugna did manage to pick up his Necronomicon. I believe it is still a level 1 Necronomicon. Nope, it is now level 2, and he's about halfway to his level 3, so Zar doing a great job getting excellent farm, which Pugna is great for. That Nether Blast with Mana Boots is just constant spam. Easily could take out the lanes. Let's go ahead and watch him do so. He's going to lay up an auto attack. There's the blast and some delicious farm. Plus, with Luna, you're going to get some excellent pushing power. She did manage to pick up her Yasha. She is gaining farm and
Dire's
XP
bottom
very
tower
quickly.
is
And
under
they
attack.
do have the much better late game, so the longer this goes, it's only going to get better for the Radiant, I feel. Meanwhile, Sand King does manage to pick up this Blink Dagger, so you can't imagine they're going to get some great setups now with the Blinking Morrow Strike or possible
Dire's
Epicenter.
bottom tower has been denied.
Meanwhile, they do manage to deny the tier 2, but it does fall, and it will still give some delicious gold for the Radiant team. Dire, meanwhile, only have managed to get down the tier 1 middle, so they are trailing more and more behind by this gold. 7,500. Ricky trying to get back in this mech, so I'm not sure what he's going to go for. I would probably encourage a Diffusal Blade. He needs to get the damage, but, you know, the survivability needs to be there as well, so we'll see what he decides to do. I mean, a Sage and Yasha is kind of an awkward pick, but maybe in this game it should be alright. ANA does have his Midas, obviously. It looks like he'll go for an Agnum's build. He really wants to be able to lay out a decent Lich ult that will do maximum amount of power, but he hasn't had much luck so far this game. And Crystal Maiden, who's just kind of living up to the role of a true number 5 support, does have Tranquils, and is going for the wards there, have laid the Frostbite, but it won't be enough. She does quickly fall just too squishy. Crystal Maiden is going to have to play a lot more careful and not feed so much, letting this Radiant team get further and further ahead in the game. That is no bueno. Meanwhile, Luna, taking all the time she can to get some extra farm, is getting some free gold in the bottom lane, sitting at about almost 2,000 gold now. We'll decide to see if she goes straight into her Manta or will hold the Yasha for now. Oh, meanwhile, the top lane, the Bane does manage to catch off the Ricky. Ricky, frustrated by that, will buy back and try to get right back in the mix. Does TP in top, and they will try to pursue this. Ricky, already back in the mix, lays out the Cloud, but the Ghost Scepter is there, and an excellent counter to Ricky, and the Exorcism is laid. Tidehunter is sitting back, waiting for the opportune time. It doesn't happen. And an ultimate, so he is going to be not a factor this fight. Is forced to retreat. Ricky in a bit of trouble. There goes the Nether Blast, doing lots of damage. Zara turning back in this mix, lays it off, is frostbitten, but Death Prophet does fall. Mix Stappy, fortunately gonna feed some more, eats it up, tries her best to survive, but will fall. It will not matter. 20-11 is the score for the Radiant, and it is looking very dire, if you will, for the Dire. I wonder how many people have used that joke in this game. Probably
Dire's
too many,
top
and I probably
tower
will
is
try not to
under
do that
attack.
ever again to you. So, apologies about that. So, the tier 2 under threat right now by the Radiant team with the power of Zar and his Pugna Blast. He's gonna get it very quickly. So, no threat there. He does also have the Necronomicon. It has been used last fight, so he doesn't have it yet, but decided to hang around. It will be up
Dire's
shortly.
top tower
Ricky has been stuck
fallen.
in the back, sitting around trying to heal up, avoiding any sort of confrontation. I don't believe anyone on the Radiant team has any sort of proper vision with the gem, but he will try to play it safe. Oh, catches the
Radiant's
courier
courier
and does
has been
make it
killed.
fall. So a great pick off, but he will pay the price for it. Not really worth it, unfortunately. And he will fall again. So Ricky just falling way too far behind in this game. It's about 12,000 gold lead for the Radiant team, as well as a 10,000 EXP lead. It's just looking a little too good right now for this Radiant squad. And at 21-11, I can assure you that after one more significant team fight, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop a GG on us. But they're going to do their best. Looks like Lich is going to go for that Agnum Scepter. He did manage to pick up the Ogre Axe. Sand King does have his Blink, and he's sitting on about 1k gold, so, you know, who knows what he'll pick up next. Zar's got his Necronomicon level 3, and has 1.3k gold. At any time they choose, they could probably go for the Roshan if they decide, but the Dire team might be expecting that. They really need to get one more team fight. If they can sync all of their ultimates together. Unfortunately, Tidebringer didn't have the mana to use it last fight, but if they can get it together this fight, along with the Exorcism, and the Crystal Maiden, and the Lich, and somehow not get disabled through all of that, maybe the door will open for them, but that's going to be tricky. One more team fight. If it goes sour, though, this will be all over. Mel Gibson went ahead and went straight for the Manta style, and also has the Helm of the Dominator, so you can expect her to go ahead and get copious amounts of farm now, pushing out the middle lane. They might try to make some space for them to go ahead and take the Roshan. They did ping it out earlier, so they're going to go ahead and turn it around. They do have vision on the Dire team up here, as you can see. I don't use this circly thing enough, so I'm going to use a little more right there. But Sand King is going to go ahead and play the Bodyguard. He's going to sit up in the trees in case things get hairy. He has the Blink Dagger available and the Epicenter, but it's looking like the Radiant team are going to get a free Roshan. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Ricky hanging on to what he can. He does have a TP to get back in the mix if needed, but he's going to take the time to get some free farm top.
Roshan has
Roshan
fallen
does
to
fall,
the
and
Radiant.
obviously it is picked up by Mel Gibson playing Luna, the smart choice. And Czar looks like he might build into a Agnum Scepter. Agnum Scepter, very popular choice on Pugna as well. After a top tier pick like Necronomicon. And Agnum Scepter allows his ultimate, I believe, to have
Radiant's
0
top tower
cooldown.
is under attack.
And as you know, in the latest patch, after the health
Dire's
is
middle
full,
tower is under
the
attack.
mana will take over. So if he was to drain the
Dire's
creep
structures are
that spawns
fortified.
right here, he would heal up his mana as well. I
Radiant's
believe.
top
I haven't had the
tower
opportunity
has
to play on
fallen.
the latest patch, but I believe that's how it
Dire's
goes.
middle tower
They do
is under attack.
decide to lay out some blasts. The ward is down. Crystal Maiden is taking some damage. There goes another blast. He's trying his best to make sure each blast hits the tower as well, because it does 50% damage to the tower. It's very good. There goes the nuke. Agenfeld does have his ultimate. They are trying to see if the Radiant will push way too far into the
Radiant's
base, but
top
the Radiant so
tower is
far
under
playing very
attack.
smart and very cautious. Luna does have very little life, but she does have the Aegis. Maybe she'll bait out a couple of the ultimates, but there we go. Pugna pops the Necronomicon. Will look to push. The ward is placed. Both teams playing it very easy and a little bit of footsie action. The Dire team wants the Radiant to push a little too
Radiant's
far
top
into the
tower
base,
is under
and the
attack.
Radiant want the Dire team
Dire's
to
middle
blow
tower
their
has
load
fallen.
as far as the ultimate is concerned. But here we go. The push is out. Luna's bounces going to do too much. The Lich ult does go out. It is nice. It's bouncing back and forth to Luna. The small Aegis on top. And there goes the Tiger. Luna will come back, and she will come back with a vengeance. Will land a couple of auto attacks. Fortunately, 3 fall. The buyback by Crystal Maiden, but she's already going to fall once again, and that's going to be GG. It's just too
Radiant's top
much.
tower
The
is
Radiant
under
team were too
attack.
good. Even if they tried to land a couple of the ultimates, they weren't quite in
Dire's
sync, and
middle
it was not enough. The Radiant team just had to snowball way too quick. I felt like they had the better draft and the better lane setup, and I think the Dire team was
Dire's
just too
middle
reliable on
barracks has
one
fallen.
single core carry, being the unorthodox Ricky, and just too many ultimates that just couldn't get in sync. Unfortunately, this Radiant team just happened to snowball out of control, so the GGs are laid out. I'm sure this game will probably end here in a moment.
Radiant
Kotlguy Casts, if
victory.
you like what you heard, sorry for the very monotone and calm so far, but feel free to check me out at twitch.tv/Kotlguy and Twitter at Kotlguy as well. It's always been a pleasure, and we'll catch you hopefully on the next one.
New game hosted.